Okay, this. What you guys didn't see was I took a couple ice cream sticks last night and I put them together to cut with some glue. Because, God, these clamps are tight. I should start using those for arms. They also need some oil.
Medic 2, Engine 4, Rescue 2, response, Priority 1, medical. 93 Kent Road, incident choking, partial obstruction.
When I was talking about the other thing, I was also talking about
Engine 1 response,
a car, a
Priority
boat, blah, blah,
1,
blah,
medical.
blah. No, wait a minute. A boat isn't all that bad. I mean,
Engine 1, Medic 2, Rescue 2,
and I don't
193 Kent Road, incident choking, partial obstruction, caller disconnected, Roseville Road is your cross, 973.
and I don't think it'll be all that hard to make a small one. You know, no bigger than that. Okay, so I gotta put this on the sander. I'm gonna smooth it down. Now I did it with like a 3-layer, and then I broke one in half and did like a 2-layer. Because I really don't know exactly what I'm gonna do here. What you call it. Alright, now that I straightened everything out there, I've got this little thing here that I kind of rounded out the bottom on a little bit, and I have this little one here. This one's 3 deep, that's a little bit deeper. Actually, the deeper one looks a little bit better. I do have to do something with that there. Well, that could be a shipwreck. That could be an accident. Oh boy, more things are coming to my mind here. They're shipwrecked on an island. I want to see if I can get this gouged out and without killing my fingers doing it. How to do this without unplugging the, okay, we still have audio. I'm telling you, just a little jar from me sticking this on something, from the magnet or something, it just screws up. The audio turns off. Okay. So we're going to put this in here. And let's see if this will do it. This one here may be okay. I don't want to go big. that looks pretty good. I need to clean it up just a little bit more. I got to get the sharper tool out of that, but I think you can kind of see that. I don't think it looks too bad. I got to get the real pointy one because I want to bring this up to a little bit more of a point, and I want to clean this off a little bit around the edge. So let me get another tip. Let's see if this one will work. I like this one if it'll do it. Not quite, oh yeah, not quite as pointy, but I think it'll do just what I want it to do. What's nice about this one is it's got a little point on it, but it's not real sharp, so it doesn't want to just gouge. It allows me to work with it. Good. Unplug it. That's something I got to do someday. I want to put a set of plugs down here so that I don't have to keep reaching over there. Now let's bring you guys back over here. That, I gotta be easy with it, otherwise it'll end up shutting off the audio on me. Okay. Take this end out of here, so I put that away. Okay, so this is what we have so far. I don't know. Do I want to try to make that a sailboat, or should I just leave it alone and put some paint on it? Let me see if I can plug you guys in without disconnecting the audio again. Well, first things first. Okay. Oh, it's over here. Need a piece of flat surface. Good. There. I want to round this off just a hair. It's a little too sharp. Hold on, guys. Okay. It was too boxy back here. I just wanted to kind of round it off just a hair. Okay. Now. Let me see here. What color do we want to do it? Actually, maybe no. boats doesn't really make too much of a difference. Depends if it's wood or fiberglass. We will test it first to see how it looks on a piece of wood. I kind of like that color. It's not crazy. It's just enough. Okay. So I need a little bit of that. And a little bit of this, which is just water. Oh yeah, there's a gust every now and then. Yeah, I want this to soak in. I don't want it to just cover. And then we can worry about it from there. Once this kind of seals the wood a little bit. I was going to just put like a varnish on it and just let it be natural, but I want a little color to it. So. Oh sure, now I took the thing out. And now I got no way of holding it. Oh boy. Hopefully that's on there enough. Make a mess, make a mess, make a mess. What the hell am I watching now? Alright, so that's a start. So we're getting there. Not totally done. Alright guys, let's do a little play. Let me see, I need some orange, some yellow, and some red, and a couple of toothpicks. A couple of toothpicks. Toothpicks. Before I go much further, I figure let me build a few things here. So we got our boat, as you can see. I wonder if I could put you closer. Probably. Get you off of this. And when you stick to this, it's going to turn the audio off. Maybe not. I can be real easy with it. Just like the audio stayed on. I think you can see what I'm doing. Not totally sure. But, yeah, I was just talking with somebody that I haven't talked to in 10 years. Really. I'm going to prop this a little bit if I can. There. I was calling this guy that's with the Coast Guard. His name is Chuck. And I go to my phone directory, you know, in the phone, and swipe Chuck. Phone rings. I get an answering machine. And, oh, sure, I know you're busy, blah 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 blah, but you know you gotta put Buzz on hold, blah 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 blah. You know, give me a call when you get a chance. You know, yeah. So anyway, the phone rings, and he answers, and it comes up Chuck on my caller ID, and I'm talking to him. He says, yeah, he said, we just got back from the beach. I go, the beach? I said, are you in the same town I'm in? He goes, no. He says, I'm about 13,000 miles south of you. I go, oh, you're on vacation? He goes, no, we moved down here. You moved down there? Oh, wait a minute, this guy is part of the Coast Guard over here, you know, and he lives in Brantford. So now, and last week he lived in Brantford. All of a sudden he sold his house and he moved. As I'm talking to him, he starts talking and the voice is coming back to me. Ah, this is Chuck. I used to dock right next to him. Him and his kids and my wife and his wife, we used to go boating all over. You know, I mean, we've been to their house, they've been here. I mean, they're just a good couple, good kids. You know, and he used to be a cop in New York, and then he retired from that, and he gave up the cop, and he became a private investigator here in Connecticut. He lived about 40 minutes from here, and he used to do a lot of work for insurance companies and things, you know, fraud, stuff like that. And the next thing you know, I mean, yeah, you know, so we're talking, we're bullshitting, and you know, I said, holy shit, you know, I said, wow. I mean, it was really a shock. One, that I got him after all these years. He still has the same number, you know, and everything is. But now the other Chuck, I don't know how to get a hold of him, and I got to get a hold of him. However, he's doing good. And then another couple that we used to boat with, Harry and Diane, was down there to visit. And they ended up buying a house down there as well, in the same area, the same development. Apparently, they bought into a development, and so they bought a house down there as well, and sold their house up here. They didn't live in Brantford. I think they lived in, I want to say like Seymour or something like that. But they sold everything and moved there. Now they still have their home, and they have another house up in, I don't like those. They have another house in Vermont that they go to in the summertime. And it's on a like a ski resort for the winter. So what they do is they rent it out in the wintertime, because the resort's right there. And in the summertime, they go there themselves. I says, you're kidding. And then Danny and his wife, they moved to Georgia. And he was saying that he hasn't seen him or heard from him in about 4 or 5 months, because Danny likes to stay at home. He doesn't like to do anything or go anywhere. And Danny was always that way. Danny lived on his boat all summer. And he'd go home. He had a condo. His wife lived in the condo, and she would come down and spend, a couple weeks on the boat, here and there, stuff like that. But Kathy was her name. I'm trying to glue this, but see, this glue works good, but on plastic it's really good. On wood it doesn't work quite as fast. There. Let me get some other glue and just drop it on there. So it'll hold it. I'm trying to build a little fire here. So now I still have to figure out how to get a hold of the other Chuck, because I was talking with him last week, and he was going to check on something for me. And he did, and he sent me an email asking me about it, and I said, well, I'd rather talk to you about it, because you're on the right track. But it's too, what we're doing is looking for an email address, our own domain. And it was too, not generic, it was too, too directed, as, you know what I mean? Too personalized for one thing. And then, even though the one thing was okay, I want it a little bit more generic now that we're on that word. It's hard to explain it without actually giving it away, and I can't do that. So, but it was too for, you know what I mean, for that department, and I wanted to cover this department. So I told him I'd call him, because he's on the right track. He's the vice commander now, so. Okay. Are you dry enough there? I'm not gonna let you dry. I'm gonna let you dry a little bit more before I try to put you on there. This is ready. I can work on this, but I'm gonna actually work on the waterfall first. I want to try to get that done. And this, I'll work on it after that's all done, because I can't do anything with this anyway. But I want to get the fire done. And I want to get some flames in there. Oh, can't wait until I tell my wife that I was talking with Chuck. The thing is, they still come up here because they still have the boat. So they come up here in the summertime, which is nice. So he says when they get up here, he says, he'll give me a call. Great. These kids are both grown. Scotty, his oldest son, joined the Marines, and he's stationed down in New Orleans someplace. So he's doing good. Good kid. Kara, his daughter, she's getting married. Her and her fiance just bought a house in, I think he said Georgia. Last time I seen Chuck and Lisa, his wife, we were at the range and we went shooting. And he thinks I got pissed at him. Which in a way I was getting pissed at him, but I wouldn't have let it show, nor would I ever act on it. Because he's a friend. You know, you just blow it away. That's what friends do. But I still have it, a shotgun made by Benelli. And I possibly had, at the time, 3 rounds through it. And I really didn't care for it, to be honest with you. So he said he was looking for a Benelli, but he can't find them. He says, listen, which one are you looking for? And he said, I have one here. You want to buy it? I'll sell it to you. Give you a good deal on it. He says, what kind of shape's it in? I said, brand new. I think I got maybe 3 rounds through it. He goes, you're kidding me. Why do you want to sell it? First of all, I don't care for it, to be honest with you. Not that I don't care for it as much as what it is. It's a good gun. But I wanted to start getting into more of the 20 gauge stuff. I don't need 12 gauge anymore. I have a couple. But how many do you need? You know what I mean? So I said, you know what? If you want it, I'll sell it to you. Oh, what's wrong with it? What's wrong? I said, Chuck, there's nothing wrong with it. So the more I think about it, and I told him, give me $300 for it, which was a good price. And as I'm talking to him, and the more I'm thinking about it, and the more he's asking questions as to, why and what's wrong with it, and and I'm telling him there's nothing wrong with it, and next thing you know, I said, you know what, never mind, I don't want to sell it, I want to keep it now, screw it. Well, what, I don't want, no, I don't mean to piss you off. I said, no, you're not pissing me off. I said, but the more I talk to you, the more I decided I want to keep it. And that's what happened. It doesn't eat. And I'm not one into selling guns to start with, to be honest with you. I think I may have sold a couple guns in my lifetime. And they were never junk guns. If it was good. If it's junk, I'll eat it myself. I won't trade it in. I won't, because I don't want anybody else to get stuck with it. So, at that point, I need this. He thought I got pissed off at him. And then afterwards, we decided to go to the range because he wanted to buy one. And I says, he says, what should I buy? I says, well, what do you want it for, Chuck? I says, first of all, is Lisa going to want to use it? He says, I just want to have something at home so that if Lisa needs to get something, all right, we have it. Well, Lisa's a petite little thing. So I says to him, listen, as long as you're not looking for anything other than something that's going to do the job up close, and you don't have to worry about it going through walls and hurting anybody else, And you guys are going to laugh when I say this, but I've been around guns a long time. And I don't mind trying things to see what works and what doesn't work. You know, I'm not the kind of guy, and if you are, that's fine. I'm not talking against you. But I'm not the type of guy that says, "Oh, it's a 12 gauge. I've always had a 12 gauge. That's it," and you're shut to any other ideas. You know. Well, I'm open to ideas, and at that point, I said, "You know what, Chuck? I'm gonna buy one myself. I want to get a 410." I said, "That's going to be my next piece." I says, with the right load, it'll do what it needs to do. It's not going to go through the wall. It's not going to hurt anybody in another room. But it's going to do the job with the right ammo in it. And it's not going to knock her on her ass when she's trying to use it. I said, because you don't want her to fire this thing and her end up on her back. So he bought one and I bought one. We both bought one. And then we went to the range just to give him a trial run. And they're all right. Like I say, you know, you don't want to use it as a defense round, you know, with buckshot in there or anything, because it hasn't got that kind of power. So you have to use, you know, something, a little 3 or 4 shot type load. Now, how'd you get in there? I'm working with just a piece of orange, and the next thing you know, there's a piece of green. Come on. Try this again. Wife wanted to go to Stop and Shop today because they have the boys' ice cream on sale. She only gives them lactose-free ice cream, which I understand, and Breyers. So she said that they had it on sale for like $2.50 a gallon when it's normally $5 a gallon. But listen, I'm going to be up that way tomorrow. I'm going to have coffee with the guys. If you want, I'll go there tomorrow and pick it up. Don't worry about it. Stay home. What I'm building here is a little fire. With the cotton, I'm using that as a flame. I don't know if I can get this over enough to show you. I don't know this, but I don't know if you can see it or not. But there's the logs, and the cotton is acting as a flame, and I'm dipping it in the 3 colors over here. They kind of give me an idea, or give me a kind of a fire look. I gotta wait for it to dry a little bit. And I don't know if the dryers will work on paint or the auxiliator. I'd like to have a little bit more. I don't need a lot. I just want a little bit more. I was really thinking, but see, I don't want to go nuts with this, but I may. I was thinking of possibly, if I can find them, it's a strong possibility that I'll do it. Drilling a hole in the bottom of the jar, and then building a stand for it. If I drill a hole in the bottom of this, and then all I would need is about maybe a half an inch to sit this in. I wanted to drill a hole in this. And then run a little wire up, and I have these little lights over there that I may or may not have shown you before. I probably did, but it was probably so long ago that you're not going to remember them. But I have these little bitty lights. In here. Let's see if I can get one out without losing it. Put my finger on it. No, I just want one. There it is. See that little thing? That's a light. Now if I was to put that light up through the bottom, I can put it underneath the fire. In other words, set the fire over the top of it, because only that much would be out. And then I can put a little switch in the bottom, that base, with a 3-volt battery. Or actually a 1.5-volt battery. AA, AAA, and with a little switch on it. So when they wanted to, they can just turn it on and they'll have a little fire in there. Now it's really not a lot of work other than trying to drill the hole. And I do have the drills for it. I just have to find them. The wiring isn't going to be a problem. Just trying to get it done can be a problem. I wonder if I can try getting a little bit more on there now. Let's see. I do not like these tweezers. They have too many little burrs on them that catch on everything when you're trying to do something. So when you try to let go, it doesn't want to let go. That's a nice flame if I can get it to go on just like that. I might be better off just letting it dry and then gluing it on. I'd really like it to stand up like that, but I don't know if it's going to stay there. Okay. Toothpick. Good little yellow there. Okay, so we're done with the fire. Mickey's out. Is that Mommy's out too? Oh, Mickey is hunting. Tucker should be coming too then. And one is out hunting, the other one is right behind him. You know, we had the 5 of them, you know, the pack, so to speak. To watch them work together as a pack was like, wow. You know, they work together without even saying anything. They just know. Okay, so the fire's done. Oh, I gotta do the waterfall. Do I really want to start that? Well, you know what? It's gonna have to get done. See if I get part of it done. Better than nothing. Right here. And I got this out, so I might as well do it. I don't need much for this right now, so. Come on, come on, come on. I'm not shaking, I'm trying to shake it out. Because it's thicker. Stickerer. Is that about right? No, it isn't. There you go. That's it, right there. Now I'll take the thinner and put it into the heavier, because the heavier will never all come out. I don't want any pearl in it, so I'm not going to use any of the powdered, because the powder I have has a little pearl to it, and I don't want that. Nor do I need a lot of this. I need very little. Right. Whoop, that may be too much right there. Perfect. Play fact. Let that finish draining. That dry? That's dry. Good. I'll make sure I get this off. Otherwise, it'll dry, but it just will take forever. And then it may not dry. It may end up dry. It may end up tacky. Okay. Syringe. Now this is the part that's going to get a little touchy. I can only do a little bit at a time. This doesn't dry real quick. Let's take a little of this, and hopefully I pull it through a few times, it'll look like water. Yes. Pull this through. And that'll also give it something to adhere to for later. There. There we go. Okay. Put that right there. I don't know a lot because I don't want it to run. This stuff will run. Yeah. Good. Now, if that doesn't run anywhere, we'll be all set. Now, I want to pull this. And just pull it. Squirt some of this on there, and I'll pull it again. It's thick, so you have to keep it away from the bottom and kind of like plunge it out. You got to keep an eye on this because I don't want it to run. There. Okay. Move these over here. Now I want that to run, and it probably won't. Because I want it to spread. And what do I do with the tweezers? Under there. Let me see if I can use these. Because now that I pull this, it'll start to shred it apart. See? And look more like a water. If I can keep the green off it. I don't want algae. Okay. Now put this over here. So so it can dry. And it's on wax paper, so see how it gets? Come on, come on. Now I can also take this and make it look like a splash. Now this one has to be pulled out quite a bit. Do I want to pull it out or do I want to leave it chunky? I want to pull it out. There we go. There we go. Now we go. Pull that one off. Pull this one. Now see this one over here? I don't know if you can see it or not, with the little white on it. Well, you wouldn't even notice that being cotton. If I push that up against this, for instance, on the bottom, it would look like the waves are splashing up a little bit. So do that one like that. Alright, so we're kind of done. I'm really hoping that doesn't run. It doesn't look like it's going to. Okay, working with this stuff is the hardest because it takes forever. Now they say that, I forgot which one it is. I think it's the stone coat. They say that it'll get to where it'll kind of stable, not cure completely, but stable so you can work it like after 15 minutes. I just wanted to wipe the residue out of these. So I can put them over here. And the West system has like a it's like a powder. It's like little, oh, didn't even think of that. Didn't even think of that. Damn. You add it, and it makes it more thicker, like a paste. Don't know if this is white. It is. This stuff would work. This is sandblasting media for a mini sandblaster. And what it is, I'll sprinkle some out so you can see it. It's like little, like glass beads. I forgot I had this. Well, this is for sandblasting. I wasn't thinking about it, but it can be used. So I'm going to remember this because I may have mixed some in with the epoxy, because I'm going to be doing it blue anyway. So what the hell's the difference? I'm going to leave this out here because I do have other. Oh, my spoon. I do have other sandblasting media in here. They're smaller than that. It's like powder. This is for those little mini sandblasters. The little one that looks like an airbrush that doesn't work. See? And it's like a powder. When I do that, dust is flying. I don't know if you see it or not. And this one is smaller yet. I mean, it is a powder. And seeing that that sandblaster didn't work, well, they really don't even call it a blaster. They call it well, they do call it a mini blaster, but they talk about it as being a paint eraser because you can erase, paint off of a model, kind of lightly. Okay, so here's the boat. I asked the wife, I said, should I have the boat up like so it just came up on land, or should I crush it a little bit and make it look like it's a shipwreck? You know, she goes, that sounds kind of morbid. I said, all right. Oh. Every time that commercial's on with the dogs and the texting. So that looks like it's going to be okay. Let me unplug you for a minute because I'm getting ready to go in anyway. So there's the fire. There's the boat. I'm not done with it yet. I'm going to make that a sailboat. This is part of the waterfall that's starting. Now that eventually is going to be heavier and it's going to come down. And up on top there's a little cutout up here so I can put like a little pool, you know, like where it's coming from. And we're going to start having the waterfall coming down. And then this, I have to shape this to a size small enough to put into that jar in front of this. I don't have enough jar space just to put this on top of that because I do want some water around it. So that's kind of where I'm at. But we'll play with this tomorrow and finish it off. Right now everything is fine. That I'm just going to let it see what happens when it dries. I don't care if I use it or don't use it. I'm just testing that. This is the cotton, like I used in there for the water. So I can use that again if I need it. I figure let me use it to use up the rest of the epoxy that I had. And like I say, there's the little fire. I don't know how that actually looks on camera. But that's that. And that's the waterfall. And now you got to remember, I got more of these bushes that go in there as well. So you'll see the waterfall, but you're going to see it behind and through the bushes. These here. These go on there. All right. That's it. It's time to go in. I'm done.